Boys, boys, boys. It is the Spokane Kid at your service. Follow me at the Spokane Kid on Instagram. TSK all day, baby. Now, ultimately, I want to start a small YouTube channel for two main reasons. First, just want to make a small community of John's enthusiasts on here. Hit me up. And second, I'm a total attention whore, so let's just get on with it. Now, this is kind of a funny story. I ordered this Nike by You sneaker, custom Air Force One, about 9 months ago, towards the beginning of the pandemic. And I completely forgot about it because I have like 100 pairs of sneakers over on the wall over here. I got a mountain of sneakers, and I legit forgot I had this. And so I'm gonna unbox this on camera at the end. Stick around for that. But first, I wanted to teach you a little something about the history of Nike ID. I actually did a lot of research for this, so this video might be a little bit longer than I originally intended when I thought about the concept. So get a drink or something, kick back, relax. And I'm going to try to teach you a little bit of something, and then show you what I made at the very end. Let's just get into it. So, like I just said, we're here to talk about the history of Nike ID, which is the artist formerly known as Nike by You. And to take you back in time, we're going to paint a little picture in your head, do some time travel here to the year 1999 when Nike ID first came out. Now, Star Wars The Phantom Menace was the hottest movie of the year. People were listening to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC on their Walkman radios. And if you had a Game Boy playing Pokemon on the playground, you were the coolest kid ever. And in honor of this, I'm wearing a vintage Backstreet Boys t-shirt. I hope you're fully back in time now. But back then, originally, the customization could only be accessed on the website, and you had a limited range of different colors and materials. The only shoe you could do when it first came out was the original Air Force One, which is fitting that that's the shoe I ended up doing today. Now, the initial launch allowed customers to customize with 31 different customizable parts, including the base, overlay, accent, lining, stitching, laces, and Dubré. And the Dubré is what you call the lace lock if you're a pretentious asshole. Now, in total, this gave the shoe 82 different materials and color options. Contrast that with today, we have 463 shoe options on Nike's website, so the combinations are practically limitless. And Nike ID was an instant success because of how easy it was to use and the price. I mean, the hottest sneakers were only $10 more than MSRP, and some were equal to MSRP, so you can see how popular it would have been right away. Enter RGA, an international innovation consultancy agency headquartered in New York, and they were founded in 1977. So in 2005, RGA comes into the picture. They were given the task to redesign the website to give it, quote, a premium e-commerce experience. And that original HTML website was replaced by an entirely new Flash-based website. And they claimed it would give a more user-friendly experience and a stylish look. The ability to save designs on your My Locker on the Nike ID website had sparked many bloggers and people to show off their designs online. Now, genuinely, it was a huge upgrade. I remember spending hours and hours using it, and not only was the function better, but the presentation was better. And I would like make these new designs, put it in my locker, like actually like how they wanted to. And back then, I was using AOL Instant Messenger, and I remember I would even put like in the away messages, I'd have like links to sneaker designs I did, which is so funny. If you're old enough to remember doing that, it's pretty embarrassing. But I legitimately probably thought that my friends and girls and stuff thought it was like cool seeing my designs on there, which I shake my head these days. Then the next upgrade came in the form of the iPhone app, October 14th, 2012. It was for the iPhone and the iPod Touch, which all these references are so funny to me. An iPod Touch, I mean, that was only 8 years ago, but that seems ancient. The app was free to download and allowed users to search products created by the Nike ID community and purchase items from the online store. And you could also save your designs to the My Locker account, just like on the old website. One of the features was Nike Photo ID that they used to do. And what you do is you take a photo of the shoe, it would upload it, and then they would take the color inspiration from like one or two colors from the picture and make a design out of it. Which is super basic looking back, like color inspiration from a photo, not as crazy. That concept would be expanded upon by Adidas on their My Adidas app, and on the My Adidas, you could take the photo and the photo would literally go onto the shoe. And so that was more of a direct translation rather than just taking inspiration from the colorway. This app's since been discontinued and it was replaced by a mobile builder that's usable both on iOS and Android. And so nowadays you can just use it through that. There's no like distinct app for it anymore. And this led to a lot of success on Nike ID. I mean, previously the operation model for putting out a shoe required manufacturers to anticipate the overall demand for each SKU, which is each like colorway and model type they're putting out, the color, the size. They had to manufacture it overseas, distribute it across the market. But with Nike ID, Nike could find a way to increase their direct-to-consumer channel, and that's strategic to cut out the middleman, because then they can just go straight to the source. The promise of wearing a customized shoe also justified a higher premium price on the shoe through the Nike ID channel. According to Forbes, Nike has been able to raise their direct-to-consumer sales from 22% of total sales to 30% in 2015, and that grew their margin by an overall 1.4% year on year from 2014 to 2015. That was the most current numbers I could find that came directly from Nike ID. Nike ID was a strong driver of that growth. With the e-commerce representing a mere 20% of the DTC sales, that obviously has a lot of room to grow, and over the last 5 years, I'm sure it's grown a ton since then. And this means Nike found a way to exponentially increase the amount of SKUs they had while barely increasing their inventory costs and the cost of the raw material goods. The raw materials used for these customized sneakers are not dramatically different from the ones used for traditional sneaker manufacturing. The main difference was the combination they could use of the possible materials that they could choose for colors and textures. And the beauty of the model was that they didn't have to sacrifice the economy of scale to actually employ this. They could still have all the same benefits while getting all the additional benefits of having additional SKUs. New designs are now increasingly engineered to be increasingly customizable too. So when they put out a new shoe like a Nike Flyknit, they're building that with that function in mind so people can instantly customize it. And that's going into the design process when they build a shoe. And it's been more than a gimmicky addition to their e-commerce strategy. Nike now generates a significant revenue and a large portion of our total e-commerce business, says Ken Dice, Nike's vice president of Nike ID. Similarly, other brands like Converse, which is also owned by Nike, they recently launched an online customization platform. And other brands have followed suit, even luxury brands. Burberry Bespoke just did one, and that's to increase their DTC sales as well. And even though Nike won't break down their direct sales from Nike ID outside of just the DTC sales, they were targeting $5 billion of DTC sales by the end of fiscal 2015. And like I said, it's been 5 years since then. That number, I'm sure, has grown a ton. Delving further into their DTC business, we find that the e-commerce business has been delivering strong quarterly growth in excess of 50%. Moreover, at just 20% of Nike's DTC revenues in 2015, tons of growth in the last 5 years. And this carries over to the gigantic market over in China, where the demand has been increasing. Nike's growth in sales to wholesale customers in China was considerably outpaced by the company's direct-to-consumer business in the country. And while sales for wholesale only increased by 13%, the DTC increase was 50%. Which is crazy in comparison. And after hearing those numbers, it all makes perfect sense. Like, Nike ID just tapped into everyone's own desire to create their own products. And in today's marketplace, each of us is a creator, which is shown by me trying to make videos, me trying to make my own shoes, me trying to make my own clothes. This change is just something we couldn't appreciate a decade ago, but the benefits are being reaped now. Millions of people around the globe now generate their own media. New easy-to-use tech tools built into phones and apps have spawned an unparalleled age of creativity. Even within big companies, the open sourcing of these ideas through contests and employee-wide programs has injected this idea of entrepreneurship within the business, and this kind of bottom-up model of idea generation and decision-making has taken hold in these businesses. And another huge benefit is with Nike ID, the Nike executives can actually see which colorways and what colors are popular and where they're popular in the US. and that allows Nike to use Nike ID to release specific shoes in specific colorways to areas that they're most popular. And this is just genius. You can just like have the people tell you what they want. And with all this success, they decided to do this in-store too. Opening in 2018, they had a new flagship store in New York offer a bespoke shoe design service on 21 Mercer Street. And now customers could book an appointment with a consultant and have a custom trainer made on site, which is super sick. If you're lucky enough to get a Nike ID invitation, you can go to the Nike ID studio, make a custom pair of shoes, and the colors aren't available online, the shoes that aren't available online, materials not even available on NikeID.com. So it's a truly special invitation to get to go to this, and many sneakerheads have even called it like the golden ticket in reference to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And you'll even see celebrity invites to the studio like Amani Toomer and DJ Clark Kent. Really cool. Hopefully I get to go someday. And that leads us into the rebranding, which happened more recently in 2018. Nike wanted to inject some new life into this custom program. They're already seeing the results. Let's pump it up more, I'm sure they're thinking. And so they brought in this New York agency called Gretel. And originally they were commissioned to refresh the existing visual identity, but it ended up turning into a complete overhaul of the brand identity. And this led to the spawn of the name Nike by You. And to quote Daniel Edmondson, the strategic director at Gretel, he said, "The next generation of consumers is setting a high bar for customization to express all facets of their identity and individuality. Nike needed a pivot, not only in how they spoke about customized experiences, but also what the entire offering meant across the brand, inside and out." End quote. This new brand strategy looks to reposition Nike as a service as much as it already is a product, and it's accompanied by a refreshed identity led by Gretel's design director, Simon Chong. And Chong had this to say: "We needed to figure out a way to reorientate the brand around co-creation, delivering something that is recognizably Nike, can stand out within Nike environments, but flex across endless unique applications," says Chong. No words from Cheech. And from their perspective, the identity was made up of two layers. The first representing Nike, and it included key elements of their branding that they already had, such as the famous swoosh symbol, their I can't even say the typeface, Futura Extra Bold Condensed typeface, and along with the black and white color palette. And the second layer is You, and that's the intended to be less functional and more of the expressive end. Featuring an array of different colors and graphics, it can express many different iterations and just span across whatever Nike needs to do with it. Ultimately, that's how they arrived at the current name today, Nike by You. And personally, I'm attached to the old name. When I first heard about it, I thought, why? Why fix what isn't broken? It was already a dope name. And honestly, I think Nike by You sounds way more lame than Nike ID. But having heard what the brand was thinking about it and how important it was to increase their DTC sales and everything, I can see the brand's perspective behind all of that. Where before I was like, why? But I guess I get it. I still think Nike ID is the cooler name. Now finally, I can actually open the stupid shoes. I probably should have got a knife, so I'm just gonna use my keys. I'll probably fast forward through this part so you don't see me struggling for like 4 minutes here. Let's see. Okay, it's the right package. There we go. Let's see. Ooh. Well, we got the Nike by You branding here. All right, let's pop this bad boy open. So my inspiration was from a guy I saw on Reddit about a year ago. You might have seen him on the Instagram Explore page or on Keezy's YouTube channel since then. His Instagram is with Daniel. I'll put him up. Because no joke, him wearing these with even just something basic like a Champion hoodie was my inspo for last year, fashion-wise. Oh, here we go. Ooh. Clean, boys. So at first, seems like a brand new, just normal pair of white shoes, but we hit them with the sail outsole midsole combo. And on the midsole here, I actually did a little different type of white material. Also did the different laces. The lining is the sail color as well, so we have a little bit of that vintage vibe going on. And then for the final part, we're gonna have to see the kid here. Boom, boom. Now I just need to beat these bad boys up. They're way too clean. It's got the custom wrapping paper inside. This is pretty nice. I do like the box. And let's put these bad boys on, jeez. So I actually got these shoes to beat them up. So this is just your friendly reminder to wear your shoes, people. Wear your shoes. Whew, I am out of breath from chasing those shoes down. But more videos to come. Follow me at The Spokane Kid. Like, comment, subscribe, you know all the jazz. Peace out.